Hello, everyone. My name is Mark from the Mark and Matt Sports Talk Show. I'm with my bro Matt right here, and we got three special guests. We got my boy Yooms out here. How you doing there, Yooms?
Up, everyone? I'm doing good. Ready to talk some sports.
Yeah, man, I'm excited too. And we got my second special guest here, Ant Man. How you been, dog?
Hello, hello. Ready to talk some football?
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. And then we got the man, the myth, the legend, Dan, the man. How have you been doing lately, dude?
Great, great. I'm ready to lay down the facts about NFL
Ooh.
football.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Well, folks, if you didn't know, the NFL playoffs are starting this Saturday and Sunday. We have 6 playoff games this year. Yes, 6 games. The NFL just recently changed the playoff format. And basically, we're just going to give our predictions. I'm going to give Bruce talk about some of the stats and some of the on the field news that we've learned recently. And so, yeah, we're just going to give our opinions and dive right into it. And so the first game that is on the docket that we're going to be talking about is the Colts and the Bills. The Colts finished 11-5, made the playoffs this year as the last seeded team. And the Buffalo Bills, having a career year with Josh Allen, won their first division title since 1995. So it's been a long time for them. Both I gotta say the Bills have been a real powerhouse this season, and it's gonna be an interesting matchup with the Indianapolis Colts. Let me ask you, who do you guys think has the advantage here in terms of offense?
Obviously, the Bills. The Bills have a better offense in this situation by a big margin. They're the second best total offense, only under the Chiefs. So it only makes sense. The Colts don't have the greatest pass game. They have barely any good receivers. T.Y. Hilton and Zach Pascal are the really two stud wide receivers in that offense. They're going to have to rely off their running game, which is only Jonathan Taylor. So.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. But Anthony, you've been watching a lot of Phillip Rivers this season. How do you feel about Phillip Rivers in this game?
All right. I'm just going to make a point clear right now. His name's not Phillip Rivers. It's Pick Six Phil. All right.
Oh,
He doesn't have it. Okay. I don't care if it's week 1, week 16, playoff. Pick Six Phil will throw a pick when it matters most, and it's gonna happen this week. Except it probably won't even matter because they'll be blown out by that time. So I'm taking Bills all the way, and I'm riding the Bills train. So sorry, Colts. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, not gonna lie, Anthony, I kind of disagree with that. I feel like the Colts could pull up an upset here. Phillip Rivers this season actually hasn't had a bad season. He's actually the 10th ranked. He's 10th in the NFL in passing. He has 24 passing touchdowns, and he's thrown for 4,000 yards this season. So, and yes, early on, did Phillip Rivers throw it up a lot and throw a lot of picks? He sure did, but he's gone to kind of groove lately, I feel like the Colts can really upset Buffalo. I feel like Jonathan Taylor, the rookie bell cow, has had a strong season, 11 touchdowns, 1,000 rushing yards. I feel like if they run the ball well, which they can on Buffalo's strength isn't the run defense. So I feel like they can pull off an upset in this game, but I'm going to take the Bills. I like Josh Allen. He's having a stud season. I mean, the guy is literally an MVP candidate. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Bills are going to steamroll the Colts here. I don't see how they can win this game.
Yeah, for sure. Their defense is solid though, but the Bills are just gonna pick that apart. It's gonna look like Swiss cheese when they're done. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. What do you think, Danny?
I hate to say it, but they should already be in off-season mode, and I'm talking about the Colts. They need to be looking for a new quarterback. This game is over before it starts.
Ooh.
I hate to say it.
Thank you.
Bills all the way.
I know.
Well, let me ask you, what quarterback should they get in the offseason if you feel like they're going to lose this game?
I say this as an Eagles fan. Go get Wentz.
Oh!
what?
Frank Reich.
Carson Wentz.
Frank Reich was the brains behind the operation when Wentz was playing amazing. He's over there in Indy. You got to get your quarterback, Frank. Take him off our hands.
You just want picks.
You just want. I have beef with Frank Reich though. He didn't decide to make Jonathan Taylor the bell cow until like 4 games ago. Before that, he was splitting the touches with him and Nyheim Hines, who's a little, just like not a great running back at all. I don't know why they were splitting touches with this guy when Jonathan Taylor is obviously the biggest stud on that team. Oh well.
I don't know. Do you have any last words on this, Yuma?
Well, I want to disagree with you guys, but this is Philip Rivers' last game, right? It's off-season's about to start. He'll be able to go back to his 10 kids. I think it doesn't help. They're playing in Buffalo, and Philip Rivers already has a pretty weak arm to begin with. And Buffalo in January, I've never been there. I mean, Anthony, you're closer to New York than we are. It gets really cold, right? So it's going to be tough as it is. Pretty much what everyone else already said. As long as the running game, I don't think the Colts have much of a chance.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that sentiment. And I feel bad for you, Anthony, because you got to watch the Jets and the Giants. How's Adam Gase doing for you?
Enduring.
Well, good thing none of us are Jets fans. And people, don't raise your kids as Jets fans. All right, moving on. So we're all picking the Bills pretty much. I think it's pretty obvious we know who's going to win that game. All right, for our second game now, we're going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the nameless franchise, the Washington Football Team.
A W.
The W won probably the most embarrassing division I've ever seen. I mean, a 7-9 team won the NFC East. Oh, the NFC least, but I'm not even, like, is anybody going to pick the Washington Football Team? Because I was going to talk about that game the Eagles just tanked for. And Danny, you're an Eagles fan. Did Philadelphia purposely tank that game? Did Doug Peterson tank the game by putting in Nate Studfeld, or is he just lying? Or do you believe him?
Before I answer that question, I do want to make it clear that I've been an Eagles fan since Donovan McNabb. I'm an original, okay? But to answer your question, it was a tank. We got to get that pick. We got to get that higher pick. And, I'm proud of it. I'm a proud tanker.
Do you think it was disgraceful for them to do that to the NFL? Because no team ever tanks that hard. Lastly, in the seasons I've watched, I haven't seen a team tank that hard. Even when they do play, they start their starters. I mean, other than the Jets tanking that game against the Raiders, I don't see. This is pretty bad right now for the Eagles fan.
We had a choice. Let the Giants go to the playoffs or let the Redskins go to the playoffs. We hate the Giants. We can let the nameless team go in the playoffs and lose to Tom Brady in the first game. No problem. But we're not going to let the Giants go in the playoffs. We just had to do it.
Well, let me ask you something. I'm obviously a fan of the Cowboys, and I don't want to get into that mess of a team, but the Giants made some post-game comments about Joe Judge saying that it was disgraceful what Doug Peterson did to the game, to the name of the game. So as a Cowboys fan, I kind of feel like they can tank, I'm honestly not against that. I'm not against them tanking the game. I mean, let's be honest, guys. If you watch that Sunday, Jalen Hurts was absolutely atrocious passing. He was their only chance, but the Giants were 6-10. If you're a team that's 6-10 should not even have a chance at the playoffs. They're only in this thing because the NFC East is the NFC least, and it's a joke. They literally need to erase divisions in football. I don't know why they don't switch to the NBA where it's like 1 through 8, but whatever. The NFC East was trash. And so I kind of don't care that the Giants made the playoffs. I can't stand Giants or their fans. They are annoying. And so, you know what? I agree. Let the football team have it. They can get clapped by Tom Brady in the first round. So,
And Joe Judge, you had 6 wins on the season. And if you want to complain about something, complain to Daniel Jones. You remember when he had that 30-yard or that crazy run? He had like no one within 30 yards and he tripped and fell. Didn't get the touchdown. You lost that game, Joe Judge. Go talk to Daniel Jones. You could have been 7-9 and went to the playoffs. So I have no sympathy for that garbage team.
There was multiple times the Giants could have came away with at least one more win. They lost by 3 points to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if you're losing by those scores, they lost 3 points to Dallas. Those are wins they should have had. They could have been easily 8-8 instead of 6-10 and took the division, but they decided to tank because of their trash quarterback and their trash defense. Oh, their defense was good. This is the one bright spot this year, but their offense was terrible.
Anthony, how do you feel about Tank Division? I mean, you live in New York yourself. You see the New York media a lot. How do you feel about Tank Division?
Danny, I'm going to pull this card. You're wrong, and here's why. Stephen A. Okay. First off, tanking is not allowed. But then again, when you think of the Eagles, it's the epitome of their franchise. They hadn't won forever. They finally win just because, Brady decided to let them. And, they just constantly a franchise just shouldn't have been there, but got there. Hey, you did with what you had, and you just never have succeeded. And if this is a win for the Eagles, I mean, it could be for that franchise after all they've been through to get up 3 draft picks. So it's a win for them, but it's a disgrace for football.
I just want to note that was spoken from a fan that will never see his team win a Super Bowl live. Sorry, Anthony. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Next year.
Well, Yuma, what do you think? Do you think it was right that the Doug Peterson Eagles should have been tanking that game?
Honestly, if we're being honest, none of these teams should have made the playoffs, right? So the division was only able to produce a 7-9 team.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Even the
So-
got booted.
I think at the end of the day, I think it wouldn't have mattered who, either if it was the Cowboys, the Red, or Washington football team, or the Eagles. Well, Eagles were eliminated, or the Giants. Bucs got this. I would say Bucs are gonna probably blow them out. Alex Smith can't move anymore. It's a nice story that he came back from that injury, but if we're being honest, he can't move anymore. Bucs like to blitz heavy, so I think this is going to be another blowout too.
Yeah, I kind of agree too. I mean, it sounds like Mike Evans, like they said his leg, he got injured in last week's game. He was a little hurt. It sounds like they said he's going to be fine. And yeah, I don't see how they're going to shut down Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is just, they have like one of the most elite dynamic offense. I mean, we got my boy Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and then on top of it, you had Ronald Jones and Gronk. They're too stacked. I don't see, even though Washington has a good defensive line with Chase Young and Montez Sweat, I can't see them. They shouldn't have been in the playoffs. And in 2020 NFC East, we'll never forget it. in the most wrong ways possible, we'll never forget it.
Well, the only way for the Washington football team to even get close to this is through their defense. And Alex Smith limiting the number of turnovers he has and really establishing the run game, because that'll open up for Alex Smith, even though he only dinks and dunks the pass. So we'll see how that game goes, but I'm rooting for Washington because they're the underdogs.
It's crazy they get to host a playoff game.
Yeah, it's sad that any team from that division gets been able to host a playoff game.
I mean, you gotta love tank division, guys. I mean, all I see is tanks. Team just tanking and tanking and tanking, but someone's got to make the playoffs. So,
fortunately, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the New York Giants can get a good draft pick this year and not have to host any playoff game.
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about that Cowboy game. We'll not get into that one. But alrighty. Well, I guess we all agree that the Buccaneers are gonna just beat the football team. So our next game in the NFC, we got the Rams versus the Seahawks. Now, this game, I'm going to speak from a fantasy. I play fantasy football. Anytime I play fantasy football with Russell Wilson or any Seahawk or Rams players, these teams always seem to cancel each other out and never score points. And so, I mean, I'm going to be honest. This is a coin flip for me. It sounds like if Jared Goff doesn't play, because I think he got injured, not last week, but the week before. So I don't know if he's going to play. Sean McVay, the coach of the Rams, hasn't announced it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Who do you think, if Jared Goff plays, do you think it makes a difference? Or do you think the Seattle's going to win no matter what?
Well, if you look at Jared Goff has that ability to either be one of the most, you could probably say he's probably a top 10 quarterback, but he looks like that at some games. In other games, he looks like a bottom, like the 30th worst quarterback in the game. He can be lights on or off, so it just depends how he's doing. Because if they can establish the run game with Cam Akers, then that'll open up the passing game for Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, which will help them win, since Seattle has not a great secondary. So let's see if they take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, not gonna lie. The Rams beat running backs are kind of trash. Let's be honest. I mean, they don't have any 1,000 yards rushing, and I mean, it's without Jared Goff. I don't see how the Rams offense can function. I mean, they literally had some guy named Wharton, some random off the street. So if he doesn't play, I think the Seahawks are gonna steamroll the Rams. Even though the Rams have the best defense in the NFL statistically, I do think they're going to steamroll them. Well, what do you think, Danny?
I don't know about a steamroll. I think it's going to be a pretty competitive game, definitely throughout the first half, but maybe towards the end of the third quarter, early fourth quarter, that's when Russell Wilson's really going to shine. But I'm really excited about the matchup between DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey. That's going to be very, very exciting, very, very competitive. And I don't know if Jalen Ramsey has dealt with the receiver of Metcalf's physicality, so we'll see how that turns out. I have Metcalf, though, obviously.
Yuma, we know you had Russell Wilson. What do you expect from Russell Wilson in this game?
Oh, boy. Okay, so obviously we played fantasy together, right? I had Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf. First 7-8 weeks, I was putting up points like crazy. I don't know what happened last 6 games. Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf, the whole offense just fell apart. I've never seen a team where the offense carried the team for the first half, then it completely flipped. For the second half of the season, if you look at Seattle's defensive numbers in the second half, they're top 3 defense. Whether it be sacks, total yards, they're top 3 defense the last half of the season. Then the offense just fell apart for whatever reason. They can't run the ball consistently. DK Metcalf can't get open, and it's just. And, this is a division matchup, so they've already seen each other 2 times, right? So division matchups usually, they already know what each other's strengths and weaknesses are. So for them to match up for a third time, honestly, I think it's going to be a coin flip. It could go either way.
Yeah.
I'll take Seattle because I can't name the Rams quarterback. And as Danny said, Russell Wilson in the fourth quarter is magic, so I'll take Seattle.
I agree. I take Seattle too. What about you, Anthony? Do you feel the same way? I know you had Tyler Lockett in our fantasy league, so you can give us some insight when watching those games.
Yeah, I don't know what glasses you're using, Mateo, but they're the wrong prescription because Jared Goff, even on his best day, is not a top 10 quarterback. I got Seattle in this one. Russell Wilson making a final drive like he always does, and they'll be moving on. Simple as that.
Here's what I'm saying. Don't count out the Rams because that defense could easily lock down Russell Wilson. Because if they let Russell Wilson cook and don't establish the run game, the Rams are going to have this game all over. Because Jalen Ramsey, the first time they played, locked up DK. And Tyler Lockett, as you know from your fantasy team, does nothing. So I have the Rams actually on this one. I think the Rams are going to be able to pull it out with their defense. And I think Jared Goff might be able to cook if he plays. But even then, the offense is just not that consistent for me, so it's going to have to rely on their run game. But I have the Rams because of their good defense.
I mean, Lockett would be a wide receiver 1 on your team, but... You know.
Last I checked, you didn't even have a wide receiver, buddy. All your wide receivers were hurt, injured, or on the waiver wire.
Oh.
All right, what's the next game?
All righty, we're moving on. Enough fantasy roles. We will have a video on that later in the year, though. Keep an eye out for that. All right, next game in the NFC. I believe it's the last game in the NFC. The Bears versus the Saints. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. An 8-8 team and a 7-9 team should not be in the playoffs. I mean, this is in the same year the Dolphins went 10-6 and missed the playoffs. And so, I mean, I'm going to be straight up. The Saints are going to destroy the Bears. Do we really believe Mitchell Trubisky's going to beat Tom Brady in the Superdome? No. I mean, not Tom Brady. Drew Brees in the Superdome? No way. The only thing that concerns me about the Saints is Alvin Kamara's health right now. He got COVID-19. But, and feel free, anybody. Do you really think the Bears have a semblance of a chance against the Saints?
We have to believe in the Bears that they'll pull some type of miracle because nothing's coming out of here for the win for them. Mitch Trubisky that guy's not good. And the run game is very inconsistent. So the Bears in this situation, I don't see them coming on top in any chance here. They're praying for a miracle. Or another Saints tank like they do every year in the playoffs. So.
Yes, I do expect that to happen. Drew Brees has not looked good in the past 2 playoffs. But Anthony, do the Bears have a chance? Straight up, do the Bears even have a prayer against the Saints?
Yeah, I mean they got a chance. You can feed the rock through Montgomery, control time of possession. You got a shot, especially like Mateo said with the way the Saints play in the playoffs. So, and if they got the Zebras on their side, they might have a chance. Especially in the Superdome, it just tends to happen that way.
Yeah, the refs have been waiting for this time of year. They just want to call the bad calls right now. It's their favorite time of the year for sure. So we'll see.
What do you think, Danny? Do the Bears or Mitchell Trubisky have a prayer?
I'm not going to predict a shocker right now, but I do think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people are predicting. But it's going to come down to Khalil Mack. He's going to have maybe a 6 to 8 sack game.
That's basically a miracle.
I'm blowing out of the park. He needs to be close to Drew Brees every single play for his team to have a chance to win. But I do think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people are predicting. But ultimately, the Saints are going to win. I say maybe 24-17.
Ooh, I think that's being generous. I'm going to take it 30-10. I think the Bears are going to get destroyed. I mean, Montgomery and the Bears only got in the playoffs because they're playing teams like the Jags and the Texans. So, the Bears got some good players, but yeah, they might need to get a quarterback. Carson Wentz. All right, to our next game, I think an AFC game. And this one, Mateo, I know you're going to have a lot to say in. The Ravens versus the Titans.
I love these
King Henry, the man who ran for 2,000 yards. Wow. My guy here, this is a rematch of last year's playoffs where Henry just steamrolled and viciously destroyed anybody who was in his path. I, however, am going to call an upset here. I'm going to take the Ravens in this game because Lamar Jackson ran 1,000 yards this season. The Ravens are, I would say, more mentally prepared for Henry. than I think last season. I think last season, the Ravens I think they're overconfident. You know, when you're a one-seeded team, when you have all the momentum going your way, you tend to play a little too cocky. And I feel like they underestimated the Titans. I feel that they're going to somehow, some way pull this game out. I just don't. The Titans defense is bad. They have the worst passing defense in the NFL. It's pretty atrocious. I could see Lamar Jackson, I think, is going to throw for 2 touchdown passes and run for 1. So that's my prediction. What do you all think? Do you think the same way, or do you feel that the Titans are just going to steamroll the Ravens?
I think you're going to have to call the National Guard into Tennessee because Lamar Jackson is going to be dropping bombs all over that field. 70-yard bombs, 60-yard bombs. Lamar Jackson is going to come to play. Do not doubt Lamar Jackson. You know, I'm a fan of Derrick Henry, but I think the Ravens are going to come, like you said, more prepared for him and really stack that box with 7, 8 guys. Because in reality, you only are like threatened by A.J. Brown, and they have a corner to deal with that, Peters.
Yes, I totally agree. You know, Anthony, do you feel the Ravens are going to win this game, or do you think Henry's just going to stampede the Ravens?
All right, let me drop some quick facts on you guys. The last 5 games that the Ravens have played against: Cowboys, Browns, Jaguars, Giants, and Bengals. Okay, everyone's raving about the Ravens because, you know, they pulled off this win streak, but it's like Dallas when they won 3 in a row. You know, it's bad teams. Sure, maybe they're finally getting a group together after COVID, but you can't mess with the king. Derrick Henry is going to take them to the next round. I'm calling it.
Ooh.
What do
Alrighty.
you think, Mateo?
So before they have faced each other this season, and Derrick Henry single-handedly put the Ravens into submission to the point where the defenders just gave up. So I'm positive that the Titans will want to demolish them and use the same game plan over again. But I think the Ravens are going to pull this one up and upset the Titans because they want revenge from last season, as the Titans just demolished them. But I see Derrick Henry popping off for 150 yards rushing, and Tannehill will only have 200 yards passing and a couple touchdowns. But the Ravens are going to outball them because that Titans defense is atrocious. There is no block. There's just no defending on anywhere. They lost to the Bengals. So I don't know what the Titans are going to do here. Because other than Derrick Henry taking charge of that clock and making sure the Ravens don't have the ball as much is really what they're going to have to do. But I think Ryan Tannehill is the GOAT. Nobody looks at him that way, but he's been dropping 33 pass TDs and he had 7 interceptions. He is Tannegoat. But the Ravens have this one this time just because they want that revenge, and I think the Tennessee Titans are going to think they have it in the bag, even though Lamar Jackson is going to come out here and ball on them. I believe it. With Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown and their new up-and-coming rookie, J.K. Dobbins, I think this Ravens team is built to take on the Tennessee Titans this upcoming week, and I think they're going to end up winning. Even though I think it's going to be a really close game, it's going to be a really interesting game. 2 high-powered offenses going at it, which is going to be nice to see.
Yes. I am projecting a slugfest. I think there's going to be a shootout, but I don't know. I feel that Derrick Henry, they might slow him down a little bit. Just that little bit might give the Ravens a chance because, yeah, that Titans defense is bad. I mean, if you have the 31st ranked pass rush and the 31st ranked pass defense, then you know you got a problem. But
and you don't want to be going into a shootout with Tannehill as a quarterback.
Hold on.
Lamar Jackson can't throw. Let's just get that straight.
Come on, Lamar Jackson, he's a very underrated thrower.
Wait. Are you guys saying Lamar Jackson's not a top 10 QB?
Lamar Jackson is a top 10 QB. He knows how to throw that ball, man. That guy's a GOAT. Don't doubt Tannehill.
Whoa. Did you just call him a GOAT? My man hasn't even won a playoff game. I mean, he is good, but my dude is not a GOAT.
He is one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the league. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and almost 200 yards almost every game of the season.
Whoa, hold on.
I want you to watch.
There is
Mateo.
pressure more on the Ravens than there is the Titans. Lamar Jackson has not won a playoff game, and this team has gone to the playoffs 2 straight years with Jackson. They've gotten killed by the Chargers, run by Anthony Lynn, and they got killed by Derrick Henry. So you're telling me Lamar Jackson's a GOAT when this fool hasn't won a single playoff game? He is top 10.
Pick
He's
6
not a
will
GOAT.
beat him.
Get him, Marco. Get him.
Hold
Mateo.
on, I know we're running out of time, but let me just make this quick point. Mateo, I don't know what you ate before this, but to think that Jared Goff and Ryan Tannehill are top 10 quarterbacks, you must have watched Andy Dalton much too long this year because they're not even in top 15.
Okay, you're mistaken here. Tannehill is top 10 without a doubt.
Oh my
Jared
God.
Goff is like top,
Next
he's like
game,
25,
next game,
55th ranked
next game.
with flashes of brilliance. Other than that, he's trash.
Mateo,
But
please.
Tannehill is GOAT. Don't doubt Tannehill. Don't doubt
Mateo,
my
you
man.
said Tannehill is top 10. You
He
know,
is top 10.
I want you to pull up the tape of when
He's
they
10. He's ranked 10. I feel like.
pull up the tape of when Tannehill went against that Packers defense. This guy is terrible. This guy is
He was
terrible.
playing in the freezing cold.
Terrible.
He's playing in the freezing cold. His fingers are probably falling off. And Derrick Henry, they couldn't even get the run game going. So how is my boy Tannehill going to drop bombs when Derrick Henry isn't even going yet?
Put it to you this way. If you're relying on a running back to help you get deep ball passes and to help you score touchdowns, I don't think you top 10.
But here's the thing.
Next game.
No, we're
Next
not
game.
playing.
Sounds like
Next
that.
game. Next game. All right, the final game in these NFL playoffs week 1. We got the Browns and the Steelers. Okay, just a little note. The Browns and the Steelers were supposed to be played, I believe, Saturday, and they pushed it back to Sunday night. The Browns head coach and the 2 coordinators got COVID-19. If that wasn't Brownsy enough, they are one of the most run-heavy teams. Okay, so they have Chubbs and Hunt. Chubbs and Hunt are good. But do you guys think this is enough to beat that vaunted Pittsburgh defense? What do you guys think?
I'm going big upset. Big upset on this game. I'm choosing Browns all the way. They are going to steamroll the Steelers in this game. 30-7. Big upset. Big upset. You
Wow.
heard it from me first.
Wow. I'm surprised because they lost to a backup quarterback in Mason Rudolph. I don't know if Big Ben comes. I don't think they're gonna steamroll them. I think Cleveland will win, but I don't think the Steelers are gonna get steamrolled. Because if Big Ben, it would have been a terrible beating in Week 17 for Cleveland. Because they lost by 2 points to Steelers with the backup. So I'm not counting Cleveland out, but I'm also not gonna make it seem like it's gonna be a blowout. I think Cleveland does win though.
What do you think, Andy? Do you feel like Cleveland's going to win this game? Or do you feel that the Steelers, who I think are going to steamroll Baker Mayfield? I mean, if you look back at the game, I believe it was earlier in the season when they played in Pittsburgh. I mean, the Browns got absolutely thrashed. Baker Mayfield had 2 interceptions, and I believe only like 1 passing touchdown. Is there any reason to think that the Browns are going to win this game? Anthony?
Look, let me make it clear. The Browns are not the same team they were back in week 2, and neither are the Steelers. But I don't even though the Browns are better, in Baker Mayfield, I do not trust. Okay, you can't beat the Jets. You can't beat anybody. So I don't care if you have no one to throw to the Jets. You gotta pull through on that. So I'm taking Pittsburgh. It's gonna be close, but Big Ben's gonna pull it through just like he usually does. Well, sometimes, but against the Browns he does. So I'll give it to Big Ben.
I'm surprised. Usually you're not a big fan of those whole quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers or Pick Six Phil, you call him, but. Why do you feel so confident about Big Ben?
I mean, he's Big Burger Ben, you know. I don't feel very confident. You know how I feel about Big Ben, but I just think he'll just have just enough. And without the Browns head coach, I mean, they were a disorganized organization, and they were somewhat organized, but now without the head coach, they're gonna go back to their old ways, and the Steelers will pull it through.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think
gonna
the
turn
Steelers are gonna eat him up. I like TJ Watt. I'm a big TJ. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I wish they drafted TJ Watt. I like him a lot. Yuma, my man Yuma. Do the Steelers do you agree with me, Anthony? You're the tiebreaker here. Are they gonna blow out the Browns? Are they gonna win this game, or do you think it's gonna be close? Or the Browns might upset?
If Stefanski was coaching, I would have leaned towards the Browns, but they're also missing their left guard, and he is a Pro Bowl left guard, right? So the Browns are doing Browns things, as we're all accustomed to, and I don't like Pittsburgh, to be honest, because their passing game is really bad. You know, Ben's become a dink and dunk quarterback. I can't name anybody in the Browns secondary that's of note. So, just Browns doing Browns things. I think it's going to be pretty close, though. I do like the Browns defense, though. I do like their front four. And I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Pittsburgh playing at home, that defense is top notch. You know, TJ Watt, even though they have a lot of missing pieces themselves, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be low 20s. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to pull this one out.
Well, I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers is top notch. I mean, they lost to the Washington football team and they lost to the Bengals. It's hard to fathom right there. I mean, if you're losing to the Bengals, I don't know if their defense is too top notch. I know they've beaten up on teams, but their whole schedule this year has been easy teams. So I don't know if they're really built to go deep in the playoffs. I say they could beat Cleveland. They may beat Cleveland, but after this round, I don't think they're going anywhere else.
I mean, I think we all can appreciate one thing from the Steelers: Juju's TikToks.
Oh yes.
And his dancing.
Yeah. Hey, what happened to him? He was dancing on his logo, and then I heard he got popped in the middle of a game.
The Bengals put an end to that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The Pittsburgh, they'll win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. I think they'll win this game, but whoever their next matchup is, I think they're going to play.
I think
they
the
would
Chiefs.
play the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills?
Oh, Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs or the
They're
Bills.
a 3 seed, right?
Yeah, they're the
Chiefs
3
would play
seed.
the lowest
They
seed.
play the Bills. They play the Bills, I think.
Ooh.
The Chiefs play the lowest.
Yeah, well, that's when their season ends.
Yeah, Bills are going to lost them again.
Yeah. I agree. Well, we've all made our choices. We've all made our picks, but we're nearing the end of the video now. And we still have 2 teams that are going to be on a bye during this week, the Packers and the Chiefs. Let's make our Super Bowl predictions right now. I'm going to start with mine first. I think we are going to see a Buffalo Bill versus a Green Bay Packers Super Bowl. And I'm going to call it the Ice Bowl. And the reason why I call it the Ice Bowl is because both teams play in frigid temperatures and are going to play this year in Tampa Bay and put on a show. And I believe the Buffalo Bills will be this year's Super Bowl champions. And Josh Allen will be hailed the hero in front of the Bills Mafia like a phoenix out of the ashes. He will give the franchise their first Super Bowl ring. And that is how this will all end. And then you're all going to be like, but wait, Mark, what about the Chiefs? Or what about the Titans? No, the Bills. Josh Allen, that man is the GOAT of this season and these playoffs.
Stop it.
He is the GOAT. He will finish with the higher, I mark my words right now, Josh Allen will go farther in these playoffs than Tom Brady. Mark my words.
Of course.
I can't wait for Josh Allen to get smacked on by the Chiefs. But I have Chiefs Saints Super Bowl.
Why the
So?
Chiefs and the Saints? Did you not see the Saints have no running backs?
What do you mean? They have Alvin Kamara.
He's got COVID.
He'll be back.
When?
Not probably this week, but probably the next week after that, because you know the Saints are going to steamroll the Bears.
Wait, you said Drew Brees does the tank job in the playoffs, though.
Exactly.
be-
Why are you
I
going
have-
back on your
I
word?
have faith in Drew Brees. I know they usually tank, but this year, I don't know. Even I think the worst they'll do is get to the championship and face the Packers. But they were pretty close against the Packers last time they played. They only lost, I think, by either 3 points or a touchdown, but they were close. I think the Saints will pull it out and head to the Super Bowl, and Chiefs will win. Those are my predictions.
All I'm going to say is that Drew Brees is the same quarterback that lost to Kirk Cousins.
That was a year ago.
Do we really think that Kirk Cousins is that good? Kirk Cousins sitting us catch at home saying, "You like that?"
I don't know.
I'm just gonna say it now. The Saints will get knocked out by that bad man up in Green Bay. He's gonna do his little discount double check, and that's gonna be Aaron Rodgers.
That's the thing. The Saints won't play Green Bay in the second round. The problem, they're going to be facing, I think, the winner of the Buccaneers game.
That's true.
And the
That
Saints
will
will
be a good
demolish
game.
the Buccaneers the entire season. So
Ooh.
I'm taking Saints at least to the championship for sure.
Danny, how do you feel? Are you gonna give us some crazy prediction, or are you gonna join me?
Okay, first off,
He's going to say the Eagles.
Is that Peterson?
A couple things clear. I really, really, really do not want to see Aaron Rodgers even sniff a Super Bowl. I dislike him very much and his cult-like fans that want to really push him over all these quarterbacks that are better than him, but we'll leave that for another discussion. In terms of Super Bowl picks, I want to see the Bills in, but I'm going to go with my mind. The Chiefs are making it out of the AFC. And in terms of the NFC, I'm going to go bold and go Russell Wilson is going to make it to the Super Bowl once again, and it's going to be Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And I'm going to go with Russell Wilson.
Wow.
Bold take.
Whoa.
Wow. Hot take.
Wow.
I respect it. I respect.
Yuma, you're a voice of reason. Can you can I can't stand the blasphemy that's coming out of this man's mouth right now. Please give us your predictions.
All right. Well, I'll give you what I think is going to happen and what I would want as the matchup. I think for like my dream matchup, I would want to see the Chiefs versus the Packers. I think Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are the best two quarterbacks. Josh Allen's the third. But it's rare to see the two best quarterbacks play the Super Bowl, if it's ever happened before. Right? So it would be nice to see State Farm reps be represented well and see Jake from State Farm also during that Super Bowl game. But no, I think I have a good feeling. I don't know. I have this weird feeling with you, Marco. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to make it to the Super Bowl. I think they've been blowing out the last three opponents, they've been steamrolling them. I just think they're on a hot streak right now, and that's the last team I would want to play against. And from the NFC, I still do think the Green Bay Packers, I think this is their year. They haven't won the Super Bowl. They haven't been to the Super Bowl in 10 years. I think it's going to be Buffalo versus Green Bay. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do it. I think him, Devontae, that offense, I think he's going to be a two-time Super Bowl champ when it's all said and done.
You're handing him a discount double check? Well, I agree with you.
Hey, Chiefs heads all the way.
Oh,
I guess.
Heads. Packer fans, they disgust me too.
They discuss.
Yeah, I'm not a Packers fan, but you know what? You got to respect how they're playing.
You gotta respect your elders and Aaron Rodgers.
He's not an elder. He's a bad man, that Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man.
MVP,
I'm
baby.
gonna say.
Yeah, hey, he's going to be a three-time MVP.
Ooh. Oh, really?
He's still balling. So we'll see.
I like your reasoning, Yuma. I just disagree with your winner. But before we get to our last prediction, Anthony. My man. Who are you predicting to win the Super Bowl this year?
I'll make this quick, but all of you who are choosing the Bills obviously have not watched football long enough. They're a cursed franchise, and they will continue to be because they're the Bills. So that's that. They're not going to go really anywhere. And as long as you have Pat Mahomes, which is the second coming of Tom Brady, just way more elite in his passing abilities, he's going to take it in the AFC and NFC. I was debating between Green Bay and Tampa Bay, but I'm going to go Green Bay, Kansas City, and give me Pat Mahomes.
Yep, well,
Pick the easy way out.
yeah, I mean that's the easy pick. I mean, do we really
repeat, huh?
We haven't seen a repeat since Brady. So no other team has done it since Brady. So it's possible.
Yeah, the Eagles didn't make it again for sure. So.
Yeah, not with Doug Peterson tanking games like that. No.
Sniffed a Super Bowl.
Huh?
When's the last time the Cowboys sniffed a Super Bowl?
Hey, how many Super Bowls you got?
Oh yeah, you guys only got one.
One little pitiful bowl.
How many Super Bowls have the Cowboys fans in this meeting seen live? Zero, right?
That's where I head out. Right now.
Alrighty. Enough of the fighting. That was a great podcast, everyone. Once again, thanks for hopping on. Those are our picks for the Super Bowl. We probably will mess it up. We'll probably be completely wrong. But anyways, let us know in the comments below. Let us know who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. Are we right? Are we wrong? Or we just don't know what we're talking about? But give a special shout out and thanks to my man Ant-Man here, my man Danny, and my bro Yums. Thanks for hopping on. Everyone, enjoy the NFL. Stay home. Stay safe. 2021's crazy. I'll see y'all around. Peace.